Welcome to the RTO Superhero Podcast with me, Angela Connell-Richards. Each week, we break down the standards for RTOs 2025 and turn them into clear actions you can use. You get real examples, compliance tips, and straight answers for running a quality RTO. Let's get started. Welcome to the RTO Superhero Podcast with me, Angela Connell-Richards. Today we dig deep into how the outcome standards change your approach to risk. Many RTOs still treat risk as a yearly task. They complete a register, add colours, save the file, and move on. That model no longer fits the sector. Risk now moves with your people, your programs, and your learners. You need systems that track these shifts with clear evidence. Let us start with the old picture. RTOs once used static risk tables. They predicted events. They guessed impact. They rated items once a year. The table captured a moment in time. It did not capture movement. It did not capture change. It did not track what actually happened to learners. It also did not show how the RTO responded. This leaves blind spots that grow fast. The outcome standards shift everything. Risk is now dynamic. It changes each week with enrolments, withdrawals, staff turnover, delivery mode changes, and student feedback. It is evidence-based, which means you must prove how you monitor and how you act. It is outcome linked, which means risk is measured by the effect on learners, not by a theoretical chance. Let us break this down. Risk now rises when outcomes slip. If learners withdraw at a higher rate, that is risk. If trainer turnover increases, that is risk. If delivery plans drift from the program design, that is risk. If complaints increase, that is risk. These are practical signals that something needs attention. Your job is to catch them early, record them, and act on them. Now let us look at ASQA's view. Regulators need to see 4 things. First is risk identification. You know which training products hold more pressure. You track staff movement. You track retention patterns. You track complaints. You track delivery shifts. You watch your scope. You understand where fragility sits. Second is ongoing monitoring. You review risk often. You do not wait for board meetings. You hold short reviews each month. You gather notes, minutes, logs, and changes. These notes show that your leadership team has its eye on the system. They show that you hold a shared view of what matters. Third is action. When you detect a risk, you respond. You record your response. You show the steps. You record who acted. You check if the action worked. You note the impact. This shows the regulator that your system is alive. Fourth is impact tracking. You measure changes in outcomes. You check if complaints reduce. You check if validation improves the assessment model. You check if interventions lift student progress. You check if support plans lead to better retention. These checks prove that your actions create improvement. Auditors ask one sharp question. How do you know what is happening in your RTO? Your evidence must answer that clearly. Your systems must give you the truth, not a guess. Real-time data shows strength. Missing data raises flags. Let us shift to the new risk lens. Many leaders still focus on funding issues or fraud. Those risks matter, but they are no longer the main drivers. Real risk sits in daily delivery. Risk sits in gaps between your program plan and what trainers deliver. It sits in missing support for vulnerable learners. It sits in incomplete trainer mapping. It sits in overdue validation. It sits in slow complaint handling. These items expose the RTO long before an audit. You must also accept a key fact. ASQA sees your risk patterns early. They track NCVER data. They see USI records. They see complaint trends. They see provider shifts across the sector. Good risk systems help you stay ahead of those patterns. Now let us talk about how to manage risk in practice. You need a clear method. Start by listing your delivery risks. Which products are complex? Which trainers are new? Which cohorts hold higher need? Then list learner risks. Which groups fall behind? Who misses attendance? Who needs support? Then list compliance risks. Look at policies, program plans, assessments, placements, and complaints. Each item needs a risk level and an owner. One person cannot hold all risk. Leadership must hold shared ownership. Once you identify your risks, you build a cycle. The cycle is simple. You detect a risk. You discuss the risk. You act on the risk. You check if the action worked. You record the result. Then you repeat the cycle each month. This keeps your RTO aligned with the standards and gives your team clear direction. Let us walk through a real scenario. A provider may have a clean program plan, approved scope, and trained staff. On paper, everything looks fine. But if they fail to track student withdrawals, they miss early signs. If they ignore placement quality, they miss another signal. If they delay validation, they miss a third signal. One complaint then exposes all three issues. The audit does not occur because of the complaint. It occurs because the provider did not know the risk. Leadership must change its approach. Risk is not a compliance officer's job. It is not a yearly task. It is the centre of your self-assurance. Each manager must know their risks. Each team must share visibility. Reviews must be regular. Actions must be logged and checked. This protects learners and reduces disruption. Risk also shapes culture. When your team sees risk as a tool, not a threat, they speak up sooner. They record issues early. They ask for help faster. They support learners with more clarity. This gives your RTO more control and less stress. Let us add more detail for leaders. When you meet as a leadership group, bring data to the table, bring progress reports, bring withdrawal lists, bring feedback from trainers, bring complaints, bring validation reports, bring support logs. Each item tells a story. Look for patterns, look for gaps, look for changes, look for shifts in learner needs, look for delivery drift. These signs help you act early. Another strong practice is a live dashboard. Keep a simple view of your risk areas. Use short notes, simple colours, and clear owners. Update it often. Use it in meetings. Give your team a shared picture. Risk management also includes staff support. When staff leave or change roles, risk rises. When new trainers start, risk rises. When delivery mode shifts, risk rises. You must track these changes and adjust your support. This may include supervision, extra resources, updated plans, or mentoring. You must record what you adjust and why. Risk also rises when demand increases. More learners means more pressure on support, more pressure on placements, and more pressure on validation. If your systems do not adjust, gaps appear. Track capacity, track workload, track response times. These factors affect outcomes. Now let us look at the learner view. Learners give early signals. Slow progress is a signal. Poor attendance is a signal. Repeated questions are a signal. Complaints are a signal. Confusion is a signal. If you track these signals, you can act before risk grows. This support builds better outcomes and stronger audit evidence. Validation needs attention too. Validation reveals risk in assessment design and delivery. If validation reports remain unfinished, risk increases. If validation shows a pattern but you take no action, risk increases. You must complete the cycle. You must update tools. You must support trainers. You must record each step. Another area is delivery drift. Drift happens when trainers change the plan. They may add tasks or skip tasks. They may change timing. They may adjust assessments. Some changes help learners. Others create gaps. You must track drift. You must guide trainers. You must record changes. Now let us consider complaints. Complaints can expose risk early. The nature of complaints matters. The volume matters. The response time matters. If complaints rise or remain unresolved, risk grows. You must track themes. You must act. You must measure improvement. To bring this together, think of risk as a map. Risk shows where to look. Risk shows where to act. Risk shows how to improve. Risk shows how your decisions affect learners. Strong risk systems give your RTO stability and clarity. Let us finish with a simple leadership practice. Sit with your senior team once a month. Bring your risk data. Ask what changed. Ask what the change means. Ask what action closes the gap. Ask what evidence proves improvement. These questions shape culture. They shape compliance. They shape outcomes. Thank you for joining me today. Stay alert, stay proactive, and keep thriving. Thanks for joining me on the RTO Superhero Podcast. Use today's insights to strengthen your systems and lift the quality of your delivery. Subscribe, share the episode, and keep building a strong and accountable RTO. See you next time.
We fight compliance with knowledge embrace. Every regulation we fully embrace. Our superhero podcast lights the way.